Good morning, anyone, everyone, wherever you are on this big planet. Again, this is Dr. Cherry with another video for you, a video that can entertain you and educate you. But this one, looking at the title, What Led Up to Petito's Death? Final Revelation tells you it is definitely a critical newsletter. And I have made a few videos and wrote a few newsletter about Gabby and Brian. You heard me. You heard my predictions. Again, I was right in telling my readers that Brian must have been a Scorpio born in November. Not a single astrologer mentioned this fact until his date of birth was confirmed and available to the public. 2, I was right in offering the exact timing of Gabby's death in my shocking SOS to the world deadly window. 3, I was right again when 22 days before the coroner's result conclude that she was strangled by Brian. Again, not a single astrologist mentioned this fact until it became public. 4, while any of the experts and famous talking heads out there were wondering about Brian's whereabouts, I was also right in telling you in many of my YouTube videos and newsletter that Brian was dead and under the water or in the belly of an alligator. Now, this being said, would you now believe and trust my cosmic wisdom or the expert? Yet you may ask a very valid question though. If Brian shot his head off, as I said, okay, where is the gun? Well, first, tracing the drugs in Brian's systems without uncontaminated DNA is simply impossible. Now, second, the gun could easily have been ingested by a bunch of alligator feeding frenzy on his corpse. Thus, the weapon could not, it is impossible to find it on or near the crime-suicide scene because obviously he committed suicide. And I knew all this from the get-go. I have been right 4 times since the very beginning of this story. And again, all I'm trying to do now is not to boost my ego, but just to make you aware that if you have watched those videos, if you have read those newsletters and investigated my cosmic work, you know that my work is real, my work is solid, my work is trustful. And that is important for me because many, many people are joining me, okay? And again, those who don't know me, remember, I wear this hat, FBI and the badge, because I am making a statement. I am the first cosmic cop on planet Earth to help humanity to understand God's cosmic design and how he speaks through the sign, which I translate for you in this sad story with Gabby and Brian. Now, there is other things, okay? Many of my YouTube videos gave my supporters a full explanation on both Gabby and Brian's stars, or their UCI, unique celestial identity. The link is live. Click on it if you don't know what UCI mean. It's important to read, okay? Unless you watch a few of those videos and read those newsletters, again, you may have difficulties relating to the fact I am about to divulge now, okay? Now, both of those immature kids' chart or stars were a mixture of fire and water elements. He was a Scorpio, she was a Pisces, sun sign. See, element attract each other's. That's why I knew he must have been born in November or a Scorpio. And both were extremely emotional, particularly Brian, who was born with a moon, which regulates his emotion in one of the most sensitive emotional signs of the zodiac, Cancer. Okay, now if you don't know about Cancer, Leo, Pisces, God knows what, go to drcherry.com and right on the top, you can look and read about the characteristics of your sun sign. This, of course, does not involve the location of your natal or hidden dragon, the great malefic, the black moon, the great Jupiter, all that good stuff that makes who you are or your cosmic identity. Remember, this is designed to service the masses. Okay. Now, facing me on Zoom for 1 hour, that is a very, very different situation, because I'm gonna dig into your soul and tell you all the good about you, all the weaknesses about you, what's ahead of you for the next 2, 4, 5 years, okay? And clean up your subconscious through the Astro Tarot, historical, and so much more that I can't even elaborate. All you have to do is read all the people that already had a meeting with me, what they say, okay? And then from there, listen to your intuition. Let's go back to this newsletter here. Now, the nature of Brian, born in November, Scorpio, is naturally suspicious, very jealous, and very possessive. That is the nature of a Scorpio. And with the moon in Cancer, Brian's emotion, while constantly under control, remember, Scorpio is all about control, those emotions were extremely strong, okay? And as seen in this case, deadly when they became unleashed. That's why he strangled Gabby, sudden enough. Now, Gabby's moon in Aries is ruled by Mars, the Lord of War, and give her a childlike, volatile, impatient, aggressive, honest nature, while her 7th house, which is facing the world, they partners when she dedicates with Brian and the family and the world at large, she becomes a Virgo, and that made her fussy, picky, critical, and OCD. We have discussed this in previous videos, okay? Now, there is more to come. This led the young, immature couple to countless emotional, uncontrollable pity fights, and of course, violence, or what I call, the reptilius effect, who finally control your mind, your body, your words, your hands, and end up turning you into a killer. Okay, that is the reptilius effect. Again, the link is live, my good friend. Click on it if you don't know what that means, and watch the video about the good and the bad extraterrestrials that hijack the body, the mind, of the soul of human being. Okay, now remember, Gabby was honest and direct. She even told the police, I'm the first one who scratched him or bit him or whatever it is. Okay, now let's go back. Now, what happened, okay, is on my shocking SOS to the world, deadly window, and combined with Gabby negative cosmic biorhythm of August 30th, okay, she ended up losing her life. Thanks to the reptilius again, we use the stars, a negative cosmic biorhythm, and then led Brian, supremely emotional, controlling, aggressive, dangerous Scorpio, to kill her. Okay, we know that, we have discussed that already. Let's keep going. It's gonna get a little bit more interesting. Now, in the process, a very emotional, distraught Gabby told Brian, look, I had enough of your violent outburst and your endless sarcasm. The nasty Scorpio has a stinger, which means their words are deadly. Look what happened with Prince Charles and Diana. Prince Charlie is a Scorpio with the tail of the dragon in Scorpio. He literally stung her to death and she became so skinny she nearly died. Okay, that is the nasty reality of the lizard, or the negative side of the Scorpio. She simply told him, look, this relationship is over. Okay, I'm done with you. I'm so upset. And she tried to run away and, of course, called the police. Whoa, wait a minute here. She was confused. She was hurt. She was lost. And this is where Brian knew that he was in trouble, because if she managed to call the cops, okay, he will be done. In other words, he'll go to jail. And that's where the nasty Taurus in the 7th house, nobody faces a crazy bull, strangled her. Okay, it's all about a tremendous amount of uncontrolled emotion that was stimulated by the reptilius effect. Okay, so jail time is not something that is attractive to anybody, especially to somebody who likes nature, who want to be in the wild. Okay, so that would take Gabby away from him. And that's something he could not tolerate, he could not accept, since he was extremely controlling, jealous, and possessive of her. That is the nasty side of the Scorpion. Okay. Now, Scorpio Cancer nature motto is clear. It's for good or for worse, until death do us part. Now, it's important to realize that O.J. Simpson was also a Cancer, and he killed 2 people because he became a Scorpio in the 5th house of love and romance, and he was under the reptilian effect, jealous and possessive. Okay, and it's important to remember the crab, okay, Cancer, has pincers. Okay, and that is Brian's moon. The pincers of a crab, the claws. If you cut those claws, nature will make sure the crab grow 2 more, okay, to grab again. So not only you have the tenacity of the crab who can let go of the past, who can let go of anything, but also you have the Scorpion. And that's why Brian was very close to his mom and his dad. The moon in Cancer is one of the most closest connection you can get between a mom, a dad, and his child. So what happening is, and I am entirely, completely certain, okay, on my finding using astroforensic, of course, outside of conventional, complicated scientific accepted forensic discipline, is that it's all about emotion. It's all about him being unable to let her go. It's all about control. If I can't have you because you sent me to jail, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to strangle you. And she was at the wrong time, at the wrong place, under her negative cosmic biorhythm with the wrong guy. And that's what it is. Okay, so again, the newsletter is giving you much more information on that case. And you know what? You had all these educated guys, psychologists, psychiatrists, FBI agent, criminologists, all these guys, okay? Yet, okay, the autopsy will reveal that no cause, manner of death is not good enough for all the people closer to the victims, their friend and their family. That's not good enough. That's why it's critical to give them this newsletter to read so they can get closure. Then again, remember those educated guys here, they do not know about the father of medicine. That said, a physician, a psychologist, a psychiatrist, a criminologist, an FBI agent, okay, without a knowledge of astrology, has no right to call himself a physician, a doctor, or what I call somebody who knows what he's talking about, the expert. Okay, without this critical knowledge, it is impossible to really understand what happened. So they have to give you answers. They give you a bunch of answers, and none of them are going to be clean, clear, to the point, direct, and real, as the one I just wrote in my newsletter and offered to you by talking in this video. But again, be smart, go and read the newsletter, because there is more interesting things in that newsletter. Let's mention it since I am here, okay? The company history, talking about, of course, Facebook, is littered with scandals. The Facebook papers could mark the biggest one yet. Okay, if you have access, or if you bought my 2022 Nostradamus Dragon Forecast, personal and universal, my words are very clear. Large corporation will be forced to a full and total restructure in 2002. And it started with Facebook, the whistleblower. There's much more going on. Oh my gosh, I got a lot of predictions for you, okay? And the reason why I emphasize all that happened and my hits, so to speak, is not to boost my ego, is to let you know you can trust Dr. Terry to what's ahead of you and read the news before CNN or Fox put them up, okay? Now, This being said, another thing that is going to piss off a lot of people, excuse my French, because they don't understand I'm an astrologer. I am not a politician. I'm not a right. I'm not a left. I'm not a conservative. I am not a liberal. I am an astrologer. So that means I do prediction, and I'm talking about famous people such as President Trump. Okay, at least 5 former Trump's White House staffers are talking to the House January 6th committee. Now, this is what I want you to recall. And again, in the newsletter, you have the link, okay? I said, born December 6, 1957, the New York governor, we all know who that is, will not survive this case. His political career is over. That's what I said. I also said, and there is a live link, the 2021-22 Scorpius Draconis does not support Trump political aims either, and will destroy many cosmic unconscious politicians. Furthermore, do you recall that one that I said to you many times if you watch my videos? No one directly or indirectly involved with the capital invasion of January the 6th will be able to escape the karma or the 2022 Scorpius Dragon. This includes famous talking head, and of course in bracket Coast to Coast AM and all his guests, okay? And all these guys from all walks of life, to tell you the truth. I wish George had invited me right at the beginning of the Gabby, Sadinaf, and Brian's terrible end of life, suicide, murder. I wish he had invited me. I would have told him all that I just told you. I'm not going to repeat myself. But I want you to give you the proof that you can trust me. You can deal with me. I'm a real professional and I am very gifted or cursed. I don't know at that point. But by looking at some of the people who give me their feedback under any of my videos, that tells you you're going to get what you paid for. Again, if you cannot afford the $700 or $350 to see me live on Zoom, get the 2022 Nostradamus Dragon forecast. It's personal and it's universal. You've got to know how this dragon is going to get to you. Another thing that is making the news, the scientists are now, they are skeptical that the Havana syndrome is anything more than a psychogenic illness. Oh my God. The scientists are clueless, not only about astrology and the values, the critical values of my work. Of course, they don't read, they don't watch my video, they ridicule astrology, but they are also completely clueless of another phenomenon, or of course, the Havana syndrome, or what I call the reptilius effect. Click on the link, learn, understand what the Havana syndrome is all about. Now, all these educated idiots, they cannot grasp my cosmic teachings because their natal UCI or their stars is not advanced, is not spiritual enough, and much too earthy, too logical, too rational. Okay, so it's impossible for them to relate to me. UFOs, oh my gosh, not real. Astrology, pseudoscience. Oh my gosh, you have absolutely no idea of the supremely critical, realistic values that you have in the old science of divine astrology. The Nostradamus astrology, not Vedic astrology, not Bono astrology, because I've studied all those and never been able to make a real prediction with those. Okay, so that's why I want you to trust me. If you got to spend the money, okay, spend it on someone who knows what he's doing, because there are such a things of psychic accident with a psychic that you see on a Sunday afternoon who needs probably more help than you do, that can manipulate your subconscious and accidentally open the doors to the reptilius. And I don't think many of these psychic or our cosmic conscious and understand the power of the great malefic Saturn or the black moon in any of your houses any signs in your astrological chart. That's why you need to stay with professional. If your transmission's breaking down, for God's sake, you're not going to go and see a dentist to fix it. That's what I'm trying to say. Use logic, use common sense. I can only give you the proof as I have them in front of me. If you just jumped into this video, of course you're going to think I'm an egocentric. Of course you're going to think I don't know what I'm talking about. But that means you're not ready for me. So you got to go to TikTok. You got to have a better time, because you cannot be normal, or you cannot be an idiot and learn from me. You have to be at least above, not normal. You cannot be normal. Digging with me. You have to be a little bit above normal. That's why the superhuman to have signed up to this channel are an extreme majority of very rare group of human beings. And you are one of those if you signed up. And you are one of those advanced, spiritual, gifted soul learning from me if you're a student. And I want to thank you for that. Again, I repeat myself. There are millions of Gabbys, millions of Brians out there. And that will never stop. This nightmare of ignorance and the reptilian effect will never stop. The critical videos that I had about the reptilians on Coast to Coast was removed. Remember, they don't like me anymore. They don't like the truth. They don't like the real thing, okay? They like people that tell them what they want to hear. They don't want to hear from me, oh, you're not going to be singing and dancing next year. Oh, be careful, COVID is real. It's going to kill a lot of people. They don't want to hear that the vaccine works. And of course, they don't want to hear nothing about Trump that is negative. All I do is translate the stars. All I do is all I do, and I do it well if you know me, if you've been watching me. All right, so again, this is a very, very important newsletter, probably the last video that I'm going to make on this sad case, Brian and Gabby. And that's why you need to take the time to read it, and most of all, share it. Until then, my good friend, God bless all of you. And we shall see you again sometime in the future. Bye-bye.